accident right around the corner from here. That is southbound Cap City Freeway at Exposition Boulevard. Good morning. It is 7:18. Time to check in with Sonoma Dan. Hello, Dan.
Sean, let me get this straight. Here.
It'll never happen.
Nikki Haley is claiming to be New Hampshire's worst Mexican? She's pulling the race card? I can't believe this.
Isn't that sickening?
I never would have expected that.
It's beyond sickening, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
She got bullied in school, Dan.
Apparently she got.
So did I.
Obviously that. Well, yeah.
So did pretty much everybody I know.
Oh yeah, I was outed as a geek and a nerd, and
kids can be brutal. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but
no.
It happens to everyone.
But
and you know what happens sometimes too? Sometimes we grow up. Sometimes
some of us grow up.
Except for me. But
I'll let you know when that happens for me. I'm still collecting comic books. But Nikki Haley's obviously in desperation mode to pull this kind of stunt.
Yes.
So, and again, I think it's over after it's today, right? New Hampshire. I'm literally not paying attention
if
to
you're
the.
Playing, I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah, I kind of do. But if you're playing the race card, you know what that makes you? A lefty.
Yeah. Well, she's, again, a big government type, and it's clearly showing. This is just a little stunt here. Hey, I watched, shout out to Trent, by the way. He turned me on to some of the clips of the, the Senate debate last night with Steve Garvey and the little Democrat barrage that they had there. I didn't see the whole thing, but from what I had seen, Steve Garvey, he came across as kind of old, a bit fatigued, but he was kind of a Reagan-esque tone. If you go into an arena like this with these POSs, Adam Shifty Eye, Katie Porky, and Comrade Lee, you got to come out swinging. You just do. You can't be, laid back and relaxed and all that. No, you got to attack. You got to fight fire with fire.
I like the baseball reference. I do.
He did well, of course. You caught that. The thing with Garvey, when he had his opening statement, he actually set up a really nice scenario, similar to what I would have done. You point out he was saying how when he got here 50 years ago to California, how beautiful it was, and now it's this hole, blank hole, and it's all Democrats. It's all one party, and he was right about that. He needed to press all of them because they're all guilty as anything for a whole variety of reasons. But I don't. We'll see. But Garvey has actually moved up to second, according to my from what I heard last night.
Yeah, kind of a distant second, though, unfortunately.
But the good news is he'll go in the runoff if he stays in that situation. Thanks, Republican Party, Prop 14. He'll go against Shifty Eye in the election in November.
Yeah, I hope he wins. My hopes are not high.
No, of course not. Of course not.
My hopes are never high, as you know.
Look at the people that we live with here in California.
I am Eeyore.
Story I caught on CBSNews.com. Apparently, there's this artificial intelligence robocall that was set up to tell people not to vote for Joe Biden or just skip it, whatever it was, and let fake Joe Biden's voice. Now, there's the report doesn't mention who was behind it, but this kind of probably doesn't take a lot to think that this is going to be used throughout the campaign all the way to November. Artificial intelligence is, it fools a lot of people. It just does. So it'll be used in all sorts of ways. So that's, again, yet another new method Democrats have to cheat their way into victory. Yeah. I mentioned yesterday that there are things that Republicans can do, by the way, to push back because you're going to get the media on you 100%. Mm-hmm. And one of the thoughts I had was that, people were mentioning how MSNBC, mostly Rachel Maddow, said she doesn't want to have Trump in response because he might lie.
Yeah.
Well, that's voter interference.
She cares so much. That's so nice of
So what do you do if I'm the RNC? You start launching a lawsuit because think about this. MSNBC is owned by Microsoft. That's Bill Gates. You launch a Microsoft you say that is voter interference. Because to be a news service, you have to have certain regulations, as you know, the FCC and so forth, that there are obligations that they have to have as a news service, or else their license is revoked. You start putting pressure on MSNBC to do their job, and you will actually get some results. But the RNC has to actually try. I'm not holding my breath that they're going to do that. But my point is, don't feel powerless, and the Republican Party shouldn't feel powerless, that there aren't things that they can do. There's a ton of things they can do. They just have to try.
No, Dan, we're not going to cover the news because the news might be bad news. So we have to protect people from the news because, this has been Rachel Maddow. Thank you very much.
Is Rachel Maddow a woman or a man?
How?
I need to find this for my ugliest women, in politics. But we have to have the exact classification if she is one gender or another, and that is yet to be determined.
Indeed. A gender to be named later.
I'm such a troublemaker.
Thank you.
I am.
Thank you.
All right, bud. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.
You have a great day, Dan. It is 7:24.